Okay, my friends, here it is. The video that is going to explain to you the magic formula for seed starting. Now, this magic formula was developed by me over many years of trial and error and tens of thousands of plants grown indoors. Now, seed starting is indoor growing just on a small scale, so all of the principles still apply. Now, I'm going to say some things about it, and then I'm going to take you and show you specific examples of exactly what I'm talking about. Because make no mistake, my friends, this is where most people mess up. And it's a critical aspect of the process of gardening to get this part right. Because when a seed is stressed or stunted as a seedling, it is stunted as a transplant and adolescent, and it remains unable to realize its full potential as an adult plant. So what you want is the plant to sprout its head above the soil and to see that everything is nice and sunny and the wind is blowing and the nutrients and the water, everything's there. And so it can just keep growing nice and big in a nice even trajectory so that we can then harden it off and put it outside, and it will continue its nice robust growth and become a nutrient dense food for us to eat. Now, what it does not want is to poke its head above the surface and then go, oh no, it's all freezing cold, or the soil's all wet, and so it just kind of flatlines. It doesn't really grow, and there's not enough light maybe, so it's trying to reach towards the light, and it just looks sickly, and it's just, there's mold on the soil, and there's gnats flying around, and there's green mildew and stuff. It doesn't want any part of that, okay? But unfortunately, that is how so many people are starting seeds. And they're like, oh yeah, they're fine, yeah. But I see, and they've got these sickly little plants that they've been nursing along for weeks and weeks. No, man, you need to get the system right, start over, and grow you some nice, robust, strong, healthy plants. So, how can we do that? As the grower, your job is to manipulate the environments so that the plant can have everything that it needs exactly when it needs it. Because contrary to popular understanding, you, the grower, you do not grow the plants. The plants grow themselves. All you have to do, and in fact all that you can do, is ensure that all the elements necessary are there when the plant needs it in the appropriate amounts. And then the plant will grow itself to the fullest of its genetic potential. So, what are those 5 things? Plants need 5 things. This is the equation. Here we go. Light, water, air, nutrients, and it all has to happen at the right temperature. Now, these 5 things can be seen like an equation in the sense that any one of them can be the limiting factor. So if you don't have enough light, it doesn't matter how much of the other ones you have, it's not going to happen. If you don't have enough water, it doesn't matter how much of the other ones you have, it's not going to happen. So you need to have all 5 of them within certain ranges, and we'll go over that in a moment. But your job as the grower is to set up the environment so that you can manipulate those 5 things and get it right into the range with which the plant wants. So let us investigate a little bit deeper. The first thing is light. So indoor growing can be divided into 2 categories: vegetatively growing and fruiting or flowering. Now, for those of us starting up seedlings and growing up transplants, we are only concerned with the vegetative growth. So therefore, we do not have to concern ourselves with things like red and blue light spectrum and PAR value and all that, luminous flux and all of that stuff. If you're trying to fruit it or flower it, it becomes way more complicated. But for those of us just growing vegetatively, we can use standard LED shop lights, and I'll show you in just a moment. But we want to, it used to be all about watts. That told you kind of how powerful the light is, but now with the invent of LEDs and how they've come a long way in the past handful of years, it's all about lumens. So we want to look for lumens that are between 5 and 12 or even 15 or 20,000 lumens, and we want it to be at least 4K, the spectrum. That tells you how bright it is. So 4K, 5K is also good, 65K is also good, but most shop lights are going to be about 5,000 lumens at 4K spectrum. Perfectly adequate, that's all you need, okay? Next thing is water. Now, most people are overwatering their plants. So if you see the green mold or the fungus gnats and stuff, that's a sign of overwatering. So to combat against that, I will show you my method for the bottom watering, and that is going to really help a lot. So always err on the side of watering not quite too much as opposed to too much watering. Next thing is air, and air, you just need to make sure that there is a breeze happening, and that's going to make sure there's enough air exchange for the plants indoors. You don't need to supplement with CO2 or anything like that, not at this level. Next thing is nutrients, and you want to utilize compost and the liquid natural fertilizers. I'll make separate videos about that, but note that you want to have a good source of nutrition for the plant. And the final thing is temperature. Now, for most indoor plants, between 70 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit is going to be ideal. 80 is really the ideal. Anything below like 75 or so, it's going to take a long time and it might not even happen. So for seed starting, you want it to be right around 80, give or take. Okay guys, so here we are looking at the LED grow lights sold specially for growing, and this one is $55 for the one light. Now we look at the information and it doesn't tell us the lumens, so it just tells us a bunch of other stuff, and this is only if we're trying to flower something. And this one's $50 for this tiny little square light. And then we look at this graph information. It's all confusing, talks about luminous flux and gigamoles and all this other kind of stuff. And we don't need to know any of that, okay? Because we're just vegetatively growing. Guys, most of these lights are a total joke. Don't waste your money on them, okay? You can get a light like this, which is just the shop light. It is 4K and 20,000 lumens, super bright. And this is about as bright as we're gonna want it. At 4K, it's the right spectrum, and it's only 20 bucks. So here's another one, it's 5,000 lumens, and this one's actually adjustable. So we can go from 3 to 4 to 5K. So we would put it on 5K and just leave it. So guys, we're gonna go ahead and go with this one because look, it is only $17, that's it. Okay guys, now here's setup number one, just putting it in a sunny window. Now this appears to be nice because there's a lot of plants growing in here, but these are tropical plants that evolved under the forest canopy, so they don't need a lot of light. To start up seeds, this would be a terrible setup. Even though that's a south-facing window, we do not have enough control over the light, and it's not coming from overhead. It's not intense enough. There's not enough heat. There's not enough air movement. If this is your only setup, putting it in a sunny window, pretty much don't even bother because you're gonna have all kinds of issues. All right. Now here's setup number two. In the same sunny window, we're going to put a light. Now this isn't quite powerful enough or close enough, but I'm putting it there as an example. This is a classic T5 light. So that's going to give us more control over the lighting. And then we're going to put a heat mat underneath the tray, and that's going to give us the heat. So we've got a lot more control over the factors now. Maybe put a room or put a fan pointed up against one of the walls. That would be adequate, okay? That would be the bare minimum that you would want to start seeds with, is to get a light like the one you saw in the previous at the store, put it up, and then get a heat mat. And that will be the bare minimum, okay? So you will have relative success that way. But it's still going to be nothing compared to this setup right here. And you can see here that we have pretty much full control over all the elements. So these lights here are 10,000 lumens each at 4K at the brightness, and with the walls reflective material, plenty of light from all around, and the heat. So we've got our heat mat here, and we got the thermostat that we set at 82 degrees and forget about it. And then we put the probe into the soil so we get an accurate reading. Always get the thermostat. And with this type of setup, you can put 4 trays on one heat mat. So with one light, one heat mat, and thermostat, you can start up 4 whole trays. Next is water, and the best way to do that is with the 2-tray system. The top tray has holes in it, the bottom tray does not. You put about 2 cups of water into the bottom tray, and then the top one will wick it up slowly. The roots and the soil will wick it up, and this is how we maintain the ideal level of moisture in the trays. Now the next thing I want you to look at is the air circulation inside of the tent. And for that we have one fan set on high, and you can see it's pointing towards the wall. So it's, look at the wheatgrass here, and you can see how it's barely moving just a little bit. That's plenty adequate. You don't want any less, but you don't need any more. Now here's for the air exchange, and that's going to become a lot more relevant here pretty soon when this whole tent is packed full of plants. We have to exchange the gases, the oxygen and CO2. And so for that I have this inline fan. And it pulls through this mesh screen at the bottom of the far end of the tent. It pulls out here at the top end of the tent. So you can see it's pulling fresh air across all of the plants. Now I have this set on a timer to come on every 2 hours for 15 minutes, and that fully evacuates the air. So I got the lights set on timers for 16 hours on and 8 hours off, and we never mess with it. Everything's on timers. The heat mats are on all the time. And so at this time of year, there's nowhere in the house that really gets above 60 degrees. The basement is 50 degrees. So there's nowhere that's adequate for starting up seeds successfully. But yet inside this tent with these heat mats and these lights and the zipped up tents, it is a nice sunny day at the beach. So guys, this is a really ideal way to ensure success for this upcoming season. So there you go, my friends. Now you know the formula to successfully start seeds pretty much anywhere you can manipulate the 5 things plants need. So if you would like to recreate the tent setup yourself, I got links in the description so you can get everything that you saw in the video. And if you feel like you gained something from the video, give it a thumbs up. Also, share your thoughts. Leave a comment. First thing that comes to mind. And I will see you next time, my friends.